Happy Monday! I'm Trish, and welcome to Let's Girlies. Today, we're going to talk about something that has become increasingly more common: long-distance relationships. The two most serious relationships I was ever in, I met the girls through Tumblr, so this is a subject that I'm super familiar with. Personally, I think that the number one most important thing in a long-distance relationship is the exact same thing that's the most important in a relationship where you live, in the same state, and that's communication. It's really important that you talk to each other about where you stand in the relationship and where you want the relationship to go. Are you willing to be doing this long distance indefinitely, or do you feel like you want a specific end date in mind? More so than relationships where you're living in the same area, long distance relationships can feel sort of monotonous in the sense that you feel like there's no end to the misery of living so far apart. So it's really important to make sure you're both on the same page and to be realistic about what you're willing to commit to. It's also really important to make sure you're making each other feel like you're a part of the daily life of the other person. Talk about things that happened in your day, the really good smoothie you had for breakfast, or that ridiculous thing someone said, or something that you might have seen throughout your day that reminded you of your significant other. It's also really helpful if you can set up a regular time to video chat, or at least a goal, once a week or whatever, but also be really careful not to become a Skype addict, because it can be really, really easy to want to spend all of your free time talking to, this person who's so important in your life who doesn't get to see you every day. But you'll really regret it if you neglect your local friends, and you'll also look like an asshole. It can also be helpful to try and set goals about how often you want to see each other, even if you can't set goals about an end point to the long distance thing. Some people can try for once a month or, once every 6 months. It kind of just depends on what your personal situation is, but it's always so much less painful to have at least some sort of countdown going on. It's also just as important to put in that little bit of extra effort as it is in any other relationship, but you kind of have to go about doing it in different ways since you don't live in the same place. Good morning and good night messages are always really cute. It's a lot of fun to write snail mail letters to each other or send postcards. I also personally really enjoyed watching movies together over Skype, because even if you can't be snuggling together on the couch, at least you can watch each other stare at the screen and be and then talk about things. Turn-based iPhone games are really fun. Snapchat isn't really a game, but that one is super popular right now, and there's also classics like Draw Something or Words with Friends. And there are a lot more long-distance relationship couple apps. There's actually one that I've heard of called Couple. I've never used any of these, so I can't specifically endorse them, but if you Google long-distance relationship apps, there's a ton of options. That's it for today. If you guys have any more questions about long-distance relationships that are not covered in this video, you can ask us questions any day of the week, but especially on Wednesdays, because Wednesdays are our specific answering question days. So you can check that out on our Tumblr, the link to which will be put in the box below. And be sure to check out and our other videos and subscribe to our channel. Yesterday's video was Megan, and tomorrow is Sam. And check back next Monday for another video from me.